Hello again. Say hello, Dougal. Hello. Hello, say hello. Is that you up there? Right, go on. That's all from me. Right, anyway, so, what day is it today? Sunday. Right, so on Friday, me and my wife travelled up to Glasgow to go and see a guy called Major Tim Peaks, British astronaut, who was doing the talk in the Hydro in Scotland. We given them as Christmas presents by my nephew Max, and we had a few hours to kill. We had somebody to look after the dog. My son was working, so we went into Glasgow town centre. We popped up in the John Lewis's car park and went into that bit of Glasgow that, funny enough, that wasn't there when I lived in Glasgow. I've never actually been in that shopping area at all. Something called the Buchanan Galleries, I believe it is. Anyway, so my wife pops into John Lewis's, and that's an hour of my life I will never get back. Let's see, it certainly dragged on a bit, and then, oh, can I just go into this shop, and can I go in that shop? And unfortunately there's no shops that I found mildly interesting at all. So we started walking down Buchanan Street, and if anybody knows Glasgow, no, it's mostly pedestrianised with a few roads that cross it. And as I got down to the bottom where you face St Enoch's, my wife says, oh, can I just go in here? And I went, oh, for fuck's sake. So as I walked down there, I just thought, oh my God, there's the Carters. And yes, there was there was actually 1, 2, 3, and then another 2. So there was 3 of them round one bit with the wee boards facing sort of 2 boards and 1 board facing St Enoch's, and the one was facing Buchanan Street Station, Buchanan. And the other one was facing, there was a bit of a gap, and there was another 2 facing St Enoch's. And I just thought, I don't believe it. And I didn't look at these people. I thought, I don't recognise anybody here. And nobody's going to recognise me, obviously. I thought, right, okay. And I thought, right, for an experiment, I'll pretend I'm a, what's the word? Maybe a tourist. Because if you've ever been to Glasgow, if you know Glasgow well, some of the architecture in the city is absolutely outstanding. You can walk around it, is breathtaking. It's all built on the back of the slave trade, to be fair. That's the only bad bit about it. You know, a lot of people from Scotland don't believe that, don't realise that Scotland was part and parcel in the slave trade, and owned percentage-wise the majority of the plantations in the Caribbean. Hence why 2 of the streets that that connect each other in Glasgow, you start off in Union Street, which morphs into Jamaica Street. There's the clue. And then you have an area of Glasgow called the Merchant City, and the merchants were dealing with obviously the sugar trade and blah 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 from the slave trade, the sugar growing plantations. So yeah. So anyway, basically, it was the slave trade. Which totally refurbished most of the city centres and towns in Scotland, as it did the same in England as well, obviously. So when you walk around Glasgow, you just see all these wonderful buildings, and you think, where did the money come? Where did the money come to build up these wonderful buildings? Well, there it goes. So I'm standing there, standing right in front of these people, literally as close as I am to myself. That was a bit weird. Anyway, we're talking about maybe 5 foot. Maybe 5 foot. I'm standing there, and I'm just looking at this wonderful slave trade bought and built architecture in Scotland, and look at this. So I stood in front of 2 of them, and then I went and stood in front of the other one, just doing this. So literally, I am only, honestly, and then I stood in front of the other 2, and I did this, and literally maybe about, what, 45 seconds, 1, 2, 3, about 45 seconds each one. Then I went back to the first one. I did this for about 3 minutes as an experiment. And of course, you know what happened. Absolutely nothing. You know, the fact that these people are standing there, allegedly believing that Armageddon is imminent, and I'm standing in front of them, there's nobody with me, I'm absolutely primed for somebody to just come up to me and say, oh, hello there, are you just visiting Glasgow? Are you a tourist, the way you're looking at, you know? Have you ever considered what's going on in the world, you know, where you're from, can I give you a leaflet? We're offering a home Bible study. Is that something you may be interested in? Because, oh, by the way, we believe Armageddon may be coming tomorrow, and you'll be potentially dead unless you start changing your life and atoning for your sins and becoming a baptized Jehovah's Witness. So, yeah, these people here out there doing this life-saving work, completely silent. I wish next time I meet them, I should really just carry a couple of stones in my pocket, just in case I bump into Carters, and just put them at their feet and see if they can get it. Where's he putting stones? Stones crowds. So that was it. It was a weird thing, and eventually I just thought, oh, I can't bide the silence anymore. I can't be doing this. And then there was a lassie in front of me. I don't know if she's on, maybe she's 35, I don't know, and she definitely not from Scotland, so she had a foreign accent. And I said, I just said to her straight away, this isn't preaching, is it? And she says, what do you mean? I said, well, I've just stood here for a number of minutes in front of you, your two colleagues there and your two colleagues there, and not one of you have approached me. Oh no, we don't approach people when we do this. Oh, is it really? He says, yes. I says, but it's not preaching. He says, well, we've had a lot of nice smiles. I says, have you? Yeah, we've had a lot of nice smiles. Getting a nice smile from somebody who's potentially going to die tomorrow because you never bothered to warn them of this thing called Armageddon, in which they're totally oblivious is coming, is not preaching. It's not involved in life-saving work. To actually turn around to me and says, we've had a lot of nice smiles and waves. Just hello, and that's it. We've had a lot of hellos and a lot of nice smiles. Unbelievable. They are standing there in the full knowledge, according to their minds, that Armageddon is imminent, and everybody, nearly 100%, who's walking past them is going to die because they're unaware of the event and they're leading a sinful life, or they're part of the wrong religion, or they've rejected a belief in God at all. It's just bizarre. And I just said to her, but this isn't preaching, is it? I just said to her, you can't call this preaching. She says, yeah, well, we go out to people's doors and says, yes, but you can't call this preaching. The fact that they're supposed to be the preaching the good news of the kingdom, and they're standing there and won't even interact with somebody who's hanging around their vicinity for about 3 minutes, not to even just speak to me. It's just the oddest thing. And at that moment, my wife came out the shop and literally sort of dragged me. I wasn't kicking and screaming. My wife came to the witness's rescue, yes again, and just says, "Come on, let's go." And then I just said to her, I need to go to a pub. Because, well, it wasn't because of that encounter. It was just because basically I'd been, doing nothing for an hour and a half while my wife bought nothing. So I needed to do something for me. So I eventually dragged her to a place called the Crystal Palace, which is just round the corner, and had a drink there. And as we walked away, my wife said to me, why do they bother you so much? She actually said to me, why do they bother you so much? And I said, the reason why they bother me so much is because I know what we used to do when we were witnesses. My wife probably didn't ever do the street witnessing where you'd approach people, because she didn't like doing that. But I used to do it because if you're a pioneer, you had to do it, and it was part of your ministry. It's part of the preaching. But to stand there and not say anything, and to think that somehow that's following Jesus' command. I actually did say to the lassie, funny enough, which I said before, I just forgot about that, in the brief time I spoke to her, says, I can't imagine Jesus standing here being silent. I says, I can't imagine Jesus doing this. I just can't. I says, because this doesn't count as preaching. So I put that back to her. It won't make a thing. She's probably thinking, I can't imagine Jesus just standing there. Imagine Jesus and the 12 disciples just standing at the end of Buchanan Street with these carts, with their arms folded, just going, hello, hello, how's it going? Just smiling to people as they go, well, you just can't imagine it. The Sermon of the Mount wouldn't have happened if Jesus was just a waver and a smiler. It's just bizarre. The ministry wouldn't have got off the ground if the apostles and Paul and Timothy and all these guys were just wavers and smilers. It's just bizarre. Honestly, it really, really gets on my tits, to be fair, because of what we had to do, and of course they're counting their time. Of course they don't count their time anymore, but I can only imagine that they were all pioneers, and all this standing there, not speaking, they're counting towards what their hours are every month as a pioneer. And when I used to think that me and the rest of the pioneers used to be walking, because we couldn't afford the bloody bus fare, walking all over Glasgow, going to some of the depressed areas, and even speaking to people on the way, and now these clowns just stand there and think they're doing the same work that I did, you know, whenever it was, you know, 1980s, whatever it is, you know, going back, it's like 40 years now, and the people there were all younger than me. I was just nodding my head. So that's why it bothers me. The comparison of what we did back then to what they think is fine now. It's just bizarre. It's like anything. If that guy was wearing a beard, or, you know, I would have gone to him and say, what's the script of the beard, mate? Where did that one come from? When did Jehovah approve the beard? You know, it's bizarre. But he wasn't wearing a beard. He was actually clean shaven. But that was it. Anyway, just on a very sad note, to which is a little bit. Well, it's very sad for me personally, but. In my old house, I used to have a family of hedgehogs, because I lived behind the terrace I lived was a field. So we had these hedgehogs that used to live in gardens, used to come out because I used to leave like bird seed and cat food. Well, not for the cats obviously, I had to change to dog food, and still the cats ate it, and then the foxes started eating it. But we had a family of old hedgehogs who used to come and used to fight with each other and grunt, and we used to be in the hot tub and hear them, and it was wonderful. And when we moved to where we live now, where I've got a garden which is backed onto another garden, it's quite a small area, I thought we'll never see a hedgehog again. And then all of a sudden one night we came over and, oh my god, there's a hedgehog there. And this guy has been regularly coming into our garden for 3 years now, and I put out stuff for him every night, bits of birdseed with dried mealworms in it, you know, absolutely loves them, and I put some out for him last night, and didn't eat any. I'd seen him the night before, didn't see him tonight, and I thought, well, that's a bit funny. So in my garden I've got a small wee fish pond, it was really small, with goldfish in there, and I went to feed the goldfish, and lo and behold, who is floating in the middle of it, but sadly this poor hedgehog. So I feel a bit down today, because obviously there's me trying to encourage him to come in our garden, and in doing so, because me and my son put in this fish pond, it's resulted in the drowning of this poor hedgehog. So obviously hedgehogs can't swim, otherwise there would have been a possibility he could have escaped, and he probably drowned and just then froze to death. He was stiff as a board, and we just pulled him out. So yeah. Not the best thing to ever see when you go into a fish pond, goldfish pond, to see he wasn't a family pet obviously, but to see somebody that I loved seeing every year when he came back, and probably because of the way I've designed my garden, that I've been the architect of his demise. So anyway, on that bombshell, that's about all I have to say. So it's funny that I did say the other week, I says I've not bumped into any Carters, and then lo and behold, within 7 days I bump into 5 of them, who again refuse to speak to me. But anyway, I haven't taken a picture of them, because of course, remember last time I took a picture of them and put them up on YouTube, one of the people on that actually then got it taken off for whatever reason, so I'll just do it. I won't use a picture of them, just in case they're on my case. Anyway, I'm going, enjoy the rest of your day, today being a Sunday of course. Yeah, see you later. Bye bye.